Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name's Ashley and I am the mompreneur here behind A Crafty Concept. In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make these cute fuzzy little monsters my 4-year-old daughter calls bubble bugs. She named hers a bubble bug that I made her a few months ago, and she loves these things and plays with them all the time. So I thought I would share this pattern with you guys so you could make your little ones some bubble bugs, or you could make these to hand out as gifts for your kids' classmates. I did that back at Christmas and they were a huge hit. I thought they would also be perfect for little Valentine's Day gifts. You can make little love bugs or love bubble bugs. I thought that would be really cute. They have little rattle inserts in them and these cute fun eyes. So they're just fun little squishy monster plushies to play with, and younger kids absolutely love them. So I wanted to make a video tutorial for anyone who has never used fuzzy yarn before. It can be a little intimidating at first, but we are going to do it together here in this video every step of the way. I don't do any fast forwarding or cutting in this video. I make the entire thing on camera so you can see exactly what I do. Be sure to go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you like crochet patterns and if you have a crochet business and would like some tips on how to sell your finished pieces. That's what I do here at A Crafty Concept. That is my passion. Feel free to shoot me any messages with questions on this pattern, any of my other patterns, or just your crochet business in general. I would be happy to chat with you. Now let's get into the pattern and see what we need to make these cute little bubble bugs. Here's everything you will need to make a bubble bug monster. A 4.5 millimeter crochet hook. This one is Clover Moore brand, which is my favorite crochet brand to work with. A pair of safety eyes, a rattle insert, a stitch marker, a tapestry needle, a pair of scissors. These are from Warm Crochet. Very pretty and very sharp. And some furry yarn. This one is Spinella yarn from Lion brand, and it's my favorite yarn to make bubble bugs out of, but you could probably use any type of furry yarn that you wanted to use, and you also need a handful of polyfill. We're going to be starting with a magic circle. And chain 1 to secure. Now we are going to single crochet 10 stitches right into the center of our magic circle. We're going to insert our hook into the center, grab our yarn, pull up a loop. You can see we got 2 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 1. We're going to do that 9 more times for a total of 10. You may notice that I yarn under when I do my single crochets instead of over like traditional crocheting calls for. That's 2. This is just how I taught myself to crochet. 3. It also creates kind of a twisted stitch, which I've heard is tighter for amigurumi type crochet patterns, so it might actually be beneficial for you to yarn over, or might actually be beneficial for you to yarn under instead of over. But if you yarn over, then your bubble bug will still turn out just fine. I just wanted to point that out to you, that I am aware that I yarn under when I crochet. That's how I taught myself. Now I gotta count and see how many stitches I have, but I'll just go ahead and do that with you just in case you guys need to do that too. It's a little hard with the furry bits of this yarn, but you can see it enough. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think I have 11 here. So I'm just going to take one out. And now I have 10. I'm going to pull my tail over here to close up my magic circle. You want that to pull that tight so it's nice and closed, but you don't want to break the yarn because it will snap if you pull it too tight, so be careful with that. Now we're going to insert a stitch marker into our 10th single crochet. That way we know where round 2 is going to stop. Once we get to our stitch marker, that's the end of round 2. For round 2, we're going to single crochet 2 times. So a single crochet increase in each stitch all the way around, giving us a total of 20 stitches in the row. And we are going to go right into the next round. We are not joining and chaining one, so this is going to be done in a continuous round, not in actual rows. So I'm just going to put my hook right into the top of the first single crochet stitch that we did and put 2 single crochets into that same spot, and that will be my single crochet increase. And then I'm going to repeat that in each stitch all the way around, giving me a total of 20 single crochets in the round. Okay, I'm back to my stitch marker. I have 18 single crochets so far. I'm going to put 2 stitches in my last single crochet where my stitch marker was for 20. One, 2, and then I'm going to put my stitch marker back into the last stitch in the round, which this one is my 20th single crochet. For round 3, we are going to increase in the first stitch. So just like round 2, we're going to put 2 single crochet stitches right here in the first stitch. And then we are going to single crochet 1 time in the next stitch, so right here. Repeat that 9 more times, so a total of 10 repeats, giving us 30 stitches in the row. So I'm going to increase again right here in the next stitch, and then single crochet in the next stitch. Increase in the next stitch, then a single crochet all the way around. Okay, I am back around to my stitch marker. I'm going to take that out and put my last single crochet right there in that stitch, and then put my stitch marker right back in so I know which stitch is the last one for round 4 to go into. For rounds 4 through 9, we are just going to single crochet 1 time in each stitch all the way around, giving us 30 stitches in the row. So the next 6 rows is just going to be 1 single crochet in each space all the way around. Once you get the hang of this, you may be able to do it without a stitch marker, and when you get to this portion of the pattern, instead of counting 6 rows of 30, you can just count up to 180 single crochets. That's how many stitches will be in this chunk of the pattern. It's a little bit faster if you are making these for like a whole classroom full of kids, or if you want to sell them in your Etsy shops or at your next market or something like that. The faster you can crank them out, the better. And that is just one little trick to make them go a little faster, is to just count up to 180 single crochet stitches instead of counting 30 stitches for 6 rows. This yarn is a little tricky to work with at first. You can see the stitches if you move the yarn out of the way, like the little fuzzies. You can see the actual stitches there. For the most part, I just kind of feel for them with my fingers and my crochet hook. Another good thing about this yarn is it's super forgiving. So if you do accidentally put 2 stitches in the same spot where you're just supposed to put 1, or skip a stitch or something like that, you're not going to be able to see it with this yarn. It's very forgiving in that way. So don't get too caught up on making sure it's absolutely perfect, because you're not going to be able to tell once it's finished. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up to round 9, and then I will come back. The pattern says to insert your eyes, your safety eyes, between rounds 6 and 7. This is round 5 that I'm doing right now, so in between 6 and 7 is when we will insert our safety eyes. I will probably just do mine after I get finished with round 9, and I will come back and insert my safety eyes on camera with you guys. Okay, I just finished round 9, and this is what we have so far. He is coming along nicely. Now I'm just going to pull up a loop and set my hook aside and add my safety eyes. So we have row 9, and then row 8, row 7. So in between 7 and 6 is going to be about right here. That's where I'm going to put my safety eyes. And this is what we've got. Just going to stick it in there so I can feel it pop between a couple stitches on the inside. Just like that. You can see it in there really well. Kind of pulled some of the fuzzy fibers down a little bit. And then my next one, same deal. I like for my Bubble Bug's eyeballs to be kind of close together. I think that gives it a really cute look, but it's totally a personal preference. You know what? I think those are up too high. 9, 8, 7, and 6. Those are in between 5, so I'm going to pull them down 1. See? Those were up too high. I could tell he looked like he had high up eyeballs. There we go. There we go. That gives me a better idea, because then I know I have the rounding off to do down here at the bottom. But now I'm going to put the backs on the safety eyes, and once you put the backs on there, those things do not come back off very easily. So make sure that they are where you want them to go before you put the backs on. You should hear 2 snaps. Once you hear your 2 snaps, that's when those guys are really on there. There we go. I would still put a warning if you are selling these or gifting them to moms with young children that it is made with small pieces, so children 3 and under should not be left with these unsupervised. I'm going to go ahead and sew in this tail now using my tapestry needle. I don't have the pattern right in front of me, so I'm not 100% sure. I think the pattern says to do it after round 10, but it really doesn't matter. So I'm just going to pull it tight so I can feel the magic circle kind of closing up still and know the direction that the stitches are in, and hide this tail right along those stitches. It's a lot of guessing at this point, but you can feel it with the tip of your tapestry needle. You can feel that it's in there really tight, so you're in between the stitches and not just going under some fuzzies. Then you can push that to the inside of your bubble bug and just leave it to hang out in there. We're going to start round 10 with a decrease. So we are going to insert our hook into the first stitch, grab our yarn, pull up a loop, insert our hook into the next stitch, which is going to be right there. Grab our yarn, pull up a loop. Now we have 3 loops on our hook. We're going to yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. That is our single crochet decrease. And then we are just going to single crochet in the next stitch. Then decrease over the next 2 stitches, which is going to be these 2 right here. Single crochet in the next stitch. Repeat that all the way around, decreasing every other stitch, giving us 20 stitches in the round, going from 30 to 20. And we are starting to see the sky close up. Okay, after we get back to my stitch marker, I know that is all of my stitches in that round. I'm gonna move it. Actually, we're not gonna use it anymore because for now for the rest of the bubble bug, we're just going to decrease 2 stitches together until it's closed. I usually don't decrease the very last stitch that I could decrease because that makes like a little point. So I'll show you what I do once I get to that end. But now we're just going to keep decreasing all the way around until our bubble bug is closed. But before he closes all the way, we will stuff him and add his noisemaker insert. So I like to just do a few decreases and then grab my stuffing. I think we'll do one more. Pull out a big old loop so you don't accidentally unravel him while you're, look how cute, while you're stuffing him. And I have heard that if you pull apart your stuffing before you stuff your amigurumi, it is a more like even stuff. I've also heard that this helps your stuffing go further. Again, I'm not 100% sure if that's true. Makes sense to me. I think I need to do some more single crochets before I start stuffing because it has not got enough to hold it in there. Okay, there. Now I'm gonna make a little nook for my noisemaker to go. And then give it a tug and finish closing up my circle with more decreases all the way around. I may need to add some more stuffing as I go. This part gets a little tricky because of the stuffing. It kind of makes you space out your decreases, so you got to try to keep your tension a little bit tighter for this part. And then we can fix any gaps when we sew in our tail at the very end, and I will show you how I do that. But just keep your tension as tight as you can without ripping your yarn in half, because this stuff is sometimes dainty. If you are the type of person that likes to have actual stitch counts, and if I just say decrease till it's closed, that makes you uneasy, there is stitch count. There are stitch counts in the PDF version of this pattern and the free version, which is on my blog. All of the links to all of the fun stuff is in the description below. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to add some more stuffing. Pull up a big old loop so I don't unravel it, and give it some squishing around. The more you stuff your bubble bug, the bigger it will be. If you stuff him too much, you might start seeing a little bit of holes between your stitches. I haven't had that issue happen to me, but it's logical for that to happen. So if you stuff it too much, you might start seeing holes or stuffing in between your stitches for your actual bubble bugs. And if you don't stuff him enough, he'll be a little floppy, just a little, like a little extra squishy, so it's really not bad. I think that's going to be good for my little guy, nice and firm. And now I'm going to finish closing him up down here with a few more decrease stitches, and then we'll sew in our tail and hide any gaps. So I like to keep mine on my work surface while I'm doing this, because it helps me with my tension. I'm hoping you can see I'm zoomed in pretty far with my camera. Just doing decreases just like before, trying to keep my tension tight. Okay, I'm going to do one more and then see where we're at. I think we can do one more without getting a weird little tippy that sometimes happens. Okay, and then after our last decrease, I'm going to slip stitch in the next stitch. So to do the slip stitch, we're just going to insert into the space, grab our yarn, pull it through the loop and the space, leave a couple, like a foot long tail, and yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. Pull it tight to secure, and now we are going to, so I have a tiny bit of a hole left where I didn't decrease over the very last couple of spaces, and there's a tiny bit of gapping where I did do decreases, but we are going to fix all of that now when we sew in this last tail. So I'm going to feel for my little hole right here and make sure to close it up with my tapestry needle and my tail here, and then I'm just going to feel around, closing up any gaps that there might be. It's just near the very, very bottom point of the bubble bug from where we did the decreases after we stuffed it. And this also sews in our tail so we can cut it off securely. Make sure you are feeling it go in the actual stitches and not just under all the pretty fuzzy yarn. And once you get it fully secure, you can take your tapestry needle and kind of rub it across like this, and it'll pull out some of those fuzzies that's stuck in between the stitches and that got stuck while you were sewing in your tail. Make him look extra fluffy. And then I'm going to insert my needle into the body of this guy right up next where he was coming out at, and then just poke it up through another section. Pull it through, pull it tight so it's like puckered down here. Cut it off and then unpucker it. Isn't he cute? And that's how you make a bubble bug.